Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar, our first webinar for 2015. My name's Beth and I'm going to be taking you through this webinar today. We're going to be going through Fusion and we're going to be having a look at what's new. So Fusion is our newest release of shortcuts and hopefully you should be getting this in the next week or so. So in the coming weeks you should be getting an email with a link on for you guys to upgrade, but we just wanted to give you a bit of an overview. And the next couple of webinars that we're going to be doing are all going to be around the Fusion version, looking at what's new and actually going more in depth on how you can use the new features that we've got. So it's packed full of new features. So just a few housekeeping rules. Duration of this webinar is approximately 30 minutes and then we've got 10 minutes at the end for questions and answers. Your speakers must be turned up to hear this webinar. My microphone's on. Everybody else has automatically been muted and questions will be taken at the end. So if you've got any questions throughout, if you just want to type them into the little chat box at the bottom and then we can go through those at the end. Fab. So a quick overview of what we're going to be covering today. So we're going to, as I said, we're going to go through what's new in Shortcuts Fusion and we're going to go through the great new features that will make running your business easier. So there's been quite a few things that's been put into Fusion and some of the new features include upfront payments during online booking, so being able to take a deposit or a full payment upfront during the online booking process. We've got some new features within Fusion itself with client dashboard, there's an arrival screen and also some service tracking. Basic promotions, that's our promotions but made a little bit easier. We also have surcharges. Anywhere has had a bit of an overhaul as well, so there's a couple of new changes in there and we've also got some new themes and a few more bits and bobs that we can talk about as well. So most of this is going to be done on our presentation today. I won't be jumping in and out of shortcuts. So we've got screenshots of everything, but as I said, in the next couple of webinars we will actually be talking about everything in more detail. So our 4 new themes, starting at the top. So we've got 4 new themes that have been introduced. We've got this one, which is our Peach Fusion. We then have one called Aqua Fusion. We have a Black Fusion and we have a White Fusion. So we still have our black and white originals, but we also have a black and white fusion. They're more of a matte, so they just look a little bit flatter. And some people that have been struggling with some of the colours that we've got currently, they might find these just a little bit easier to use. So when you first load up Fusion, you'll get an option to be able to choose the theme that you want. It's that little scroll, little scrolling grid, and you can just choose whichever theme you want. If you've chosen a theme and you decide that you want to change it, then you can do that within Fusion. Just by going up to the top of the screen, there's a select a theme, and on the little palette, if you click on it, it will give you all the options. We also have our desert theme coming back. So desert, for anybody that was on our 7273 versions, they would remember desert. It was a blue with like a sandy colour in the background. So that's made a revival as well, so that's in there. So there's a couple of different colours for you to be able to choose from if the black and white weren't quite what you wanted. Cool. So that was our themes. So our appointment book. We've had a couple of changes within the appointment book. We have a change service in the appointment book. We have appointment groups, service tracking. We can default automatically to today's appointment page after each logon. We have an appointment clash warning, and we also have something called a finishing block. So I'm going to go through each of these in detail just to walk you through. So first of all is our change of service. So previously in our older versions, you'll have noticed that if you've made an appointment and you need to change the appointment, and it's only a case of you've booked in a cut and blow dry and it was supposed to be a restyle, you used to have to delete the appointment and then rebook it back in. We now have an option where if you right click on an appointment, you have an option to change service, and by clicking on change service, it will then walk you through actually changing that service, so changing it from a cut to a restyle. Just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit quicker when mistakes are made that you can do it. And you can also do it when somebody comes in, when they're coming in to arrive, they're coming in to say that they're there for their service. If you find out that the service isn't correct, you can change it, and it just means when it comes to paying, then the bill's going to be correct. So this page is showing our appointment groups. So what we can do is we can now add appointments to groups. So basically this is for you've got a group such as a birthday party or a hen party in, and you want to be able to distinguish who's in that group. Previously it was just a case of you had to group them at the payment if they were paying together and that was it, but now you're now able to actually associate people with a group, and it's these two clients in green that are our groups. You can see that they've got a little red identifier, and this shows that they're both in the same group. You're also able to then filter by a group, so you're able to actually look at people, all the appointments within a particular group booking, and you can also add people and take people out of groups as you need to. So it's quite good. It's very flexible, so it's really good if you do offer parties and you want to be able to actually see and be able to monitor who's in that group and know at a glance. So that's one of our newer features that's come out in Fusion, and you can filter down, and we'll probably be going through that in our next webinar in a little bit more detail. Our next one is our service tracking. So another option that we've got, and this can be turned on or off, so it's not on as a default, but you can turn it on and off if you wish, is being able to see who's in service and whose service has been finished. So it's great when you've got a client going to multiple employees and they go to somebody for a colour and then they go to somebody else afterwards for a cut. When that stylist has finished with them for the colour, they can say, so when they start them they say that they're in service, and then when they finish them they say that their service has stopped, and then the next person is then made aware that their client is now ready for them to start their service. So you'll see it just changes the appointment colours, so you can see on the appointment the blue appointment is the arrived, so the grey means that that service has been finished. So Pauline's in for 3 services, and the blue and the grey means that that service has been finished. The blue and the orangey colour means that the service is been started. So Pauline is now with Harry for a refresh peel, and then she's in for a rejuvenation peel afterwards, and that's blue and blue, and that means that that service hasn't been started or completed yet. So as I said, it's a configurable option, so if you wanted to use it, it's there for you to use if you wish. We also have an appointment clash warning. Now this is something that we've wanted for quite a while, and it's great that it's finally made it into our new version. So basically this is telling you when there's a conflict or there's an issue with an appointment that you're trying to create. So we know it's really easy for somebody just to start clicking on a page and making an appointment and not actually looking if there's enough time for the service, or if it's a service that requires another service afterwards, that there's enough time for both services to be done. So what happens is when you book in and you start making a service, if the employee is off during, let's say, the second service being booked in, or there's another service in that place, then what it'll do is it will highlight on the service selection, it will highlight once you've selected the service, it highlights it in orange to say that there's a conflict, and it can also, if you wish, flag up to say that the appointment has a conflict. So it will say is not scheduled to work, or there is another appointment there, and then it gives you the option to reschedule or continue. So continue means that you can just press continue and it will still book it in, or reschedule will then take you into the appointment wizard and it will find a suitable time that actually matches those services that you wanted to book in. Again, this is configurable with regards to the pop-up. It will always go orange on the service, but the pop-up itself is configurable, that you can turn that on and off if you don't want to have the pop-up coming up every time, and especially if you want to be using days off in colleges to book appointments in and then start moving them round. We also have a default today's appointment after login. So this option again is configurable, that if you want, every time somebody logs in, it automatically takes you back to today's appointment page. Again, it's just a default tick that's within Shortcuts database. As default, it's unticked, so when somebody logs in, it will take them back to the page that they were previously on. But if you want to, you can have it that it always defaults back to today's page. And our finishing block. So our finishing block has been designed to be able to add it's like a back service. So for example, if you require all your colours, all the prices include a blow dry, you could create a service, a second block or a third block, and select it as a finishing service. And what that means is if I select the colour but I don't select a cut when I'm booking it in, then if I've got a finishing service, it will automatically book this in afterwards. So it will always give me a finishing service. If I selected a cut and blow dry, then it wouldn't book that finishing service in because it knows that I've selected another service. So ideal for anybody that's been struggling with the online booking, with clients just selecting colours but not selecting cuts. You can specify now that it always has a blow dry, and a blow dry is 30 minutes. Tick it as a finishing service, and then it will automatically book back and will automatically look for services being available that has the colour, then the processing time, and then the finishing service afterwards. So hopefully it should help with your online bookings a lot more, that people aren't just booking in a colour but not booking in the blow dries or the cuts. And then if they want to cut, you could then upgrade them later on if needs be. So we also have a new arrival screen. So that was our appointments covered. And I now have a new arrival screen. So the arrival screen is a quick and easy way to view upcoming client appointments for the day, and it's always the current day. You can arrive and check out clients from this screen. So basically when you're in this screen, you can use this to arrive clients, and then you can go to point of sale from this screen as well. So you don't actually have to go to the appointment and check people out from the appointment page and arrive them on the appointment page. It's like a list view. You can also view your overdue appointments, and they will be shown in red, and they also have a time to show you how late that client is. So it will say -5 if they're 5 minutes over. You can also arrive whole groups from this screen. So if you're using the grouping option that we went through before, then you're able to then arrive a whole group rather than just arriving each person individually. And this is what it looks like. So this is our arrival screen. So you'll see it has our client name. It has the time that they're due in. It will give you any group identifiers. It shows you services. There's a plus you can expand so you can view all the services that they're booked in for. You can see that this Pauline Abbott's -41 minutes late, and she's got 19 minutes left on her booked appointment. You can also see the arrive button. So the arrive button, by clicking on that, then marks the client as arrived, and they will actually disappear from this screen. So this is just showing all the clients that were waiting to arrive. You'll see at the top there's a little show arrived only tick box. By ticking that, it will then show you all the clients that have arrived, and in there will be a point of sale button. So you can actually go through the list and go to point of sale. You can amend their bill, but they will still stay in that arrived screen until you actually check them out through point of sale completely. So it's just a way of being able to see who's coming in, and then also who's ready to be checked out. Rather than you searching the appointment page, you can just do it from a quick guide, a quick screen. It's a lot quicker and easier, and you can kind of go backwards and forwards and view everything from here. We also have an updated roster. So one of the things that has been an issue in the past is an employee wants a particular day off and it's 6 months away. They want to book the holidays 6 months' time, and you used to have to drag the screen all the way down to find that date that you wanted to take them off. So now it's changed. Now we have a search employee option where I can search for an employee either by their full name or a part name, so the beginning of their first name. And I can just search for one person in particular, and then I can then go through, especially if I've got a new starter in there at the end, I can just search for their roster and put in their roster. We also have a select roster date at the top as well, and the select roster date means I just want a particular date. It will take me automatically to that date. I could use both of them, so I could search for an employee and a roster date to put somebody's holidays in. So it's just a way of making the roster a little bit quicker to action rather than the dragging across the screen and down the screen to find particular people or to find particular dates. So I'm sure you'll agree that that's a welcome feature, something that will make everybody's lives a lot quicker and easier. So our new client dashboard. So we have a new client dashboard. It's a quick way to look at relevant information about a currently selected client. So it shows our past and future appointments, any outstanding series, average spend, any alert messages that you might have set up, number of visits, no-shows and cancellations that they've had. If they're in a club, then it will show club balance, club points, and it will also show any account balance. So if they're in debt to you or in credit to you, you'll have your account balance there as well. And then you can also reschedule appointments through this screen as well. So to give you an idea of what it looks something like this. And every time that you access a client screen, be it through the appointments, through the clients, or through the point of sale client screen, you'll come up, as soon as you select on a client, you'll come up with this section that's in the middle. So as you can see, you've got all of your information, so any preferred employees, you'll see that there's a little alert message there to say that they're running 10 minutes late. Any outstanding series, so perfect, somebody asks you a question, how many series have I got? Really quick and easy to find that. Future appointments, and then also their past appointments. So as you're going to book an appointment and somebody says I usually have a particular colour, you can do a quick look there and see what colours they have before you get to the service screen. Now, one of the good things about this is the future appointments. If they needed to change that future appointment, you can click on that future appointment, and then you can also go to the assistant or to the appointment book. So by clicking on the appointment and going to the appointment book takes you directly to that appointment on that particular day, or to go to the assistant takes you through to our appointment wizard assistant, which will then help you to reschedule a booking. So you can either go to the appointment book and move it as you would normally, or you can go to the assistant. So again, it's just making it a little bit easier that when a client needs to reschedule, rather than you going through to find that appointment in the appointment screen, you can do it from the client dashboard. So again, we're just trying to make things a little bit quicker, that when you're looking for information and trying to get information, trying to reschedule appointments and trying to just make the front desk a little bit quicker and a little slicker. So point of sale has had a few changes as well. So we were talking about that changing of service in on the appointment itself, but you can also have it going the other way. So if you change a service in point of sale, you can choose if it automatically updates the appointment book. So in the past, you changed a service at point of sale and the appointment went a khaki colour, but you didn't quite know why it went a khaki colour, apart from the fact that there was a discrepancy, i.e. the service was changed, but you don't know what the service was changed to. So this gives you the option to be able to actually change that appointment. So if somebody was booked in for a full head of highlights but only had a half head of highlights, it would change it. It also changes the times. So you can actually see on your appointment book a good understanding of exactly what's going on with your services. We have something called surcharges, which is being able to add extra amounts onto bills. We have basic promotions, and then we also have upfront payments via our online booking. So our surcharges. So surcharges is being able to add extra percent onto a bill. Now our surcharges are linked to either a payment or a particular day. So we only have two available options. So the payment type would be that somebody's paying with a particular card, and I get charged extra for that particular card. So I could set up a credit card surcharge. So you can see here we've got a 3% credit card surcharge on a Visa. And then what that means is when I go to choose the Visa as my payment, it will then automatically tell me that there's a 3% charge. We can also do it on a date. So the date is selected within the roster itself, and then you can actually specify the surcharge. So it could be if you decide to open Sundays but you want to charge 2% more, or you wanted to open on public holidays but there was a surcharge. So it's just being able to add a percentage of the bill on top just for a particular date or a particular payment type. So as I said, if it's a date, if the date is the date that you've selected, then it will automatically select the surcharge and add it on. So it's added on a 5% public holiday surcharge there. Or if it's a payment type, as soon as you go to select your credit cards and the payment type, it will then show you that Visa is 3%, but you'll see that Amex is no surcharge. So you can say to the clients, did you know there's a 3% surcharge on Visa? They might pay with something else, or they might accept the 3% charge. So our upfront payments. So Shortcuts Upfront Payments feature allows you to take your payments, either a full payment or a partial payment, through when a client makes a booking online. So it's taken through BookMe and it's taken through My Local Salon as well. So anything that uses the online booking will then ask them to make the payment. The customer payments are taken through PayPal and they're paid into your PayPal account. Payments are stored against the client in Shortcuts, and when they transact the amount, it's taken off the total sale automatically. So regardless of if it's the full amount or a discount, it will automatically deduct the amount that they've paid or prepaid. No-show or late cancellation payments can either be taken from the upfront account, or you can credit it back to the client's account for a later date if you wish. So you do have the flexibility that you can keep that cancellation payment, or you could credit it back to the client's account so that they could use it at a later date. So the upfront payment, so there's a few settings within the console itself, and you can actually specify the booking is for employees. You can actually select particular employees, particular services, so it might only be on a couple of different services, and you can also specify the booking deposit, so the percentage, how many days in advance. So there's a few different settings that you can change, and you'd get all of this with a little bit of training when you sign up to the upfront payments. So if anybody's interested in knowing more about the upfront payments, then it's worth giving our BD team a quick call and just having a little chat to them about what the process is and what you need to actually sign up to get this up and running. And just to show you, when the client goes to confirm their booking, you'll see that it tells them how much they need to pay. So how much the total of the bill is, how much they require, and then they can pay and confirm booking, and then it will take them through to their PayPal to push that payment through. Cool. So as I said, if you're interested in the upfront payments, we're just starting to slowly start looking at releasing that shortly. So if you are interested, then please do give our BD team a quick call and they can give you a little bit more information. So our basic promotions. So for anybody that's using 7.4 and uses the promotions itself, you'll know that we have promotions, and there's 3 steps, and you step through each step to specify what you need to purchase to be able to be eligible for a promotion and what you get. We've created in Fusion a basic promotions, and it's like a light version of the promotions that we've got. Basically, it's a bit like the specials that we used to have many years ago, for anybody that remembers. And you can access them in the service setup screen and the product setup screen. Basically, it's a promotion based on a percentage reduction, a pound reduction, a cost or a gross margin percentage reduction, and it can be restricted based on dates and times. And the promotion will automatically be applied at pause. So it looks something like this, hopefully, when it loads. Cool. So on your product screen, you'll see that we've got a promotions button at the bottom now, and by clicking on it, it just brings, and it's also on the service screen, and by clicking on it, it just brings up one screen. And that one screen, so there's no next buttons, there's no 3 pages to work through, it's just one page, and it's only about that one service. So for example, if it was a cut, we could do 10% off ladies cuts on a particular date range, and then we would put in the percentage, or in there you'd have the pounds off. You can associate it to a club if you wanted to, so it's only relative to club members. And then you specify the dates that it's available, hours that it's available, and it's just a way of doing a quick discount, if you like, where it's automatic that within those date ranges it's going to give 10% off a ladies cut. And as I said, the same can be done for products as well. So that's within your products and services, and it's just a really quick way to be able to just do a quick discounted offer that's automatic. People don't need to press that discount button to then start discount it, and remember, it'll do it automatically for you. So within Fusion, we also have clinic improvements. So anybody that's got our clinic version of shortcuts, or if anybody is interested once we've been through and have shown you roughly what it does, then you can give our BD team a quick call, and they'll be happy to help you get upgraded if you think it's something that you need. We have visual treatment records, so you're able to put markers and product information, including batch numbers and usage amounts, into shortcuts, so you can put a bit more information in. There's an add service button which allows you to add services to a treatment, and it updates point of sale automatically. We have colour code markers, so you can specify whether it was based on a product or a service. And you can also associate healthcare providers and assign healthcare numbers to employees. And you can also print the receipt, and you can use the employee address instead of the business address. So if you've got somebody that comes in that maybe does laser or Botox, you can print the receipt with their details on rather than the business details. So you're still running everything through shortcuts, but you are able to actually give them a bit of an invoice. You can also see the visual treatment records icon, which shows in the client history, to just specify that notes have been and records have been left for that one. So a couple of screenshots of our clinic feature. So you'll see here within the background of clinic, we're then able to collate healthcare provider details, and you can put abbreviations in there as well. Within the mapping fields of clinic, you can specify, you can see that we can now have different colour coders. So we've got different codes and different colours, and we can also specify the amount that's being used of a particular product, so you can associate a product with a service. So that service was particular Botox, I used this particular product, and then you can specify the batch number if needed, and also the dosage that was applied. As you can see on the history itself, you'll see that it gives you a little identifier, and this just notifies you that there's been some either face mapping or body mapping associated, so there's some extra information with regards to that particular service. So walk-in managers had a bit of an uplift as well. So you can see we've done quite a bit with Fusion. We've updated quite a bit within it. Walk-in manager, for anybody that's used it or that does use it, we're now able to tag clients. So in the past, anybody that was using Walk-in Manager, you just associated clients, you didn't tag them. So now you can tag them as a new client or a requested client, so you know if they're returning clients, etc. So some of the new features that have been included is you can now create groups, pretty much like the appointments that we've just shown you. The duplicate client check is now on there, so that wasn't on before, whereas you guys, anybody using appointments will have had that for quite a while. Visit tags, so being able to tag a client. There's an appointment visit preload time, so you can say that somebody can check in for an appointment 15 minutes before the next available appointment. So you can specify that people can check in a little bit earlier if needed. There's an estimated wait display. So we have a wallboard that you can put up within the salon that tells people what the estimated wait is. And that's our Walk-in Manager features. The stock improvements, so not too much has gone into the stock. It's been mainly around the statistics calculation. So I know I went through that quite a while ago now, but with the statistics calculation that automatically looks based on what you've sold in the past, it then updates your figures to tell you what you need to buy. So based on what I used last Christmas, this Christmas I can then update to know how much stock I should be keeping. Previously it was set up that it was just based on all the products within Shortcuts, but now it's been changed that you can now run it against a company, a line or usage. So usage is professional or retail, so I only want to run it on all of my retail, on all of my professional, or I just want to run it on a particular company, a particular line and it's only retail, for example. So it's just had a minor update, but some information that will help. Rather than updating everything, we can now actually go through and just look at certain areas of our stock. Some other new features. So we have a maintenance on exit. It's like a mini workshop. So when you're exiting Shortcuts, it will actually pop up and say, do you wish to exit? Looks something like this. So do you want to run a system maintenance? So you can either run it now, next exit, tomorrow or next week. We would recommend that it's done as you're closing Shortcuts and not in the middle of the day. And what that will do is it will run a little repair. So it will try and repair itself. So if there are any problems, and it will keep your system running nice and smooth and a little bit quicker. So it's a bit like our old workshop for anybody that's Shortcuts from quite a number of years ago. Will remember having to run workshops, then this is very similar, and as I said, it automatically prompts when you exit Shortcuts. The console login has also now been put on the pin screen, so as soon as you get that pin screen there's a little console login, so just in case you've forgotten the web address for the console, so to get into your online booking or your Spotlight, you can just click on the button there and then just log in with your username and password. And online updates. So this is one of the best features that we've got, is being able to push down our updates directly to you guys. So what will happen is your system will automatically search for new versions of Shortcuts. So rather than us having to send out links or discs as we used to, now it's email links, it will automatically download it for you. You still choose if you want it to install. So you can still choose if you want it to install or not. But it's great for us that if there are any problems or we do need to push, there's a bit of a problem and we need to push something down, we can push a version down straight away, and then it means that you guys can upgrade much quicker and much easier for you. You don't need to download anything and then run it. And as I said, when we start releasing more versions, then what we'll do is these will automatically be pushed down and you'll see a little pop-up like that, and it will just say it's ready to install. Do you want to install? Hit yes, and it will do its thing. Again, we would recommend that if you're going to install it, just do it at the end of the day, just so that it has time to do the install. Although I must say I've done mine and it's pretty quick to run. S.M.A.R.T had a couple of new features as well, so anybody that's using Anywhere may have seen it's had a little bit of a tweak. So we've now got the ability to create, cancel and reschedule appointments within anywhere. So that means as a salon owner, somebody phones you and wants to make an appointment. Instead of you then phoning the salon or getting the client to phone the salon, you can actually do it on your phone there and then. There is some security within the console around this with regards to the users, so you can actually specify who is able to create, cancel and reschedule appointments or not, so whether somebody's got a read-only or whether they are actually able to make and change appointments. And just to give you an idea, so anybody that's got anywhere, jump on and have a look. All you need to do is just click on a space, and an empty space, and you'll see that it will start taking you through the booking process. If you've got an appointment, if you just click on it, you'll see that it will then give you the option to move, reschedule or cancel. Book Me. So Book Me, your clients now have the ability to cancel and reschedule their appointments online. So anybody that's booked their appointments through the online booking will then have their own little login. And in that login, if they log in to your online booking page, then they have the option to look at all of their previous appointments, and then they can also see any future appointments that they've got, and then they're able to then cancel or reschedule those appointments. So just because somebody's made an appointment online, maybe now it doesn't suit and they've made it still 2 weeks in advance, rather than them phoning you guys and you having to change it, they can actually do it all themselves in the comfort of their own home in the evenings, and it will just automatically update it all. Works on the same principle of Book Me, so when they reschedule, it'll just give them the options that it usually does, just with the time frames. We have a couple of new products that are going to be coming out shortly. So memberships is going to be one of them. And memberships is being able to provide an ongoing benefit as part of a membership program. So ideally, it's in the form of you pay a monthly fee, and for that monthly fee or for that yearly fee, you then get so many services. So for that monthly fee, you get a facial a month, or you get a haircut a month and one blow dry every 2 weeks. You can say what services or products, and you can specify the numbers that they can claim over that period. So it's a way of getting the clients to pay you either upfront or on a monthly, weekly, fortnightly or monthly basis, and then they can then receive those offers. The payments can be imported into the membership console, so there is a login for your membership console, which is within the console itself, and you can control your memberships that way. The benefits can be reset after each payment cycle or can be accumulative, so you can specify whether after the payment cycle of a month it automatically resets itself, or does it just keep going that for that monthly fee they get 6 cuts, so it doesn't matter if they use it 1 every 2 months or if they use 6 within the year. So you can specify whether it's based on a monthly or whether it's based on an accumulative. And you can also set up automated emails so that the client's aware when benefits are available, about to expire, or if there's a failed recurring payment. So you try to take the payment and there's an issue, then you can also set up an automated email as well, so that it automatically notifies the client. So just a quick screenshot of what it looks like. There'll be a little star within Shortcuts itself, so you can see the star against the refresh peel means that that's part of a membership program. My client comes to pay, and you'll see that it automatically discounts, so there's nothing to pay for that one. And I can also do a balance inquiry from within Shortcuts, so it will tell me how many I've got left. Another thing that we've got that we are actually using, so if you are interested, again with memberships and global clients, if you're interested, if you give our BD team a call and they can talk you through the specifics of it. But global clients is great if you've got more than one site. So it allows you to download and link client records between different locations. It allows clients details, including the history and the spend totals, to be shared between multiple sites. So even if you're not an enterprise client and you're just 2 standalone sites or more, then you can use global clients. So if you've got clients that do tend to go between your different salons, then what you can do is use global clients, and you can just pull down that client's information. So they always visit Salon A and then they go to Salon B. Salon B can pull down the client information, doesn't have to create a new card. All their previous history is in there, so they can look at what colours you've used in the past, any discounts that they get, so they can see everything about that client. And it's a continued service that you guys are offering, being able to access the information without having to phone through to the other site and get the information. Client sales history and visit notes are still site specific, but they are visible at all sites. So you can look at all the information from multiple sites. Cool. So as I said, if global clients is something that you're interested in, then by all means just give our BD team a quick call. So that covers everything that we wanted to go through about Fusion, what's coming up. Our next webinar is going to be a little bit more in depth, and it's part 1. So we've got one in February and one in March, and we're going to be looking at the Fusion product in a bit more detail. Hopefully by that point you'll have upgraded and you'll have had time to have a little play around. So on Monday the 23rd of February we're going to be going through the new appointment book features. So if you want to register, then by all means go onto our website and you'll be able to register. The link isn't up yet, so if you just give us a couple of days and we'll have that up there for you. If you've missed any of our webinars or want to watch this one again, then you can watch them on our website. Under the webinar section you'll see you can sign up at the top, and then all our previous webinars are at the bottom. So please go through and have a little nosy at those and see if there's anything that helps. So I'm going to go through to our questions, and I'm sure I've got a couple. Cool. So surcharges. Can you have a rule that charges a surcharge if the transaction value is below a set amount? Yes, you can. Again, it's only based on the payment type or the date. But you can specify, so for example, if they're paying with a Visa, if the bill's below £5, then I want to add an extra 2% on. So you can do that, but as I said, the surcharges are only linked to a date and a payment only. Cool. Is a global clients feature a service we have to pay extra for? I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I'm not quite sure. If you give BD a quick call and they will just give you a little bit more information about that. As I said, I'm not the best when it comes to pricing and if there are charges or anything. So if you give them a call and they'll just talk you through it and just have a little chat with you. Is Fusion an automatic rollout for all shortcuts users? So what's going to happen is you will receive an email. So we've started sending emails and we have to send them in small batches. So there's an email going out. So if you haven't received the email already, then don't worry, yours will be coming and you should get it within a week or so. If you don't, then give us a call by all means. But the upgrade to Fusion is a link on an email. So if you click on that link, and then upgrade to Fusion, and then from then on you should then get the automatic upgrades after that. Cool. The client conflict notification, will this come up when a client is booked in and then you roster an employee for a day off? It won't, because you've already made the appointment. It's at the point of making the appointment that the client conflict notification pops up, but that's a good question, and I will certainly put it forward as a request, because I think that would be quite useful, that when you roster somebody on a day off, that it then puts them as a conflict and you're then able to report on it. Cool. Fab. We're just running out of time a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I've got a couple more questions. What I'll do is I will email everybody that's been on the webinar itself afterwards. So we'll I'll send you an email with all of the questions and answers on it, and it'll have all my contact details if you do have any questions, or like I said, if you don't get that email, then just give me a call and we can get that rolling for you and just see where you are on our list. So as always, if you need to contact us, you can do. You can contact us on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. You can contact me directly. It's beth.hendry@shortcuts.co.uk. You can visit our website, or you can give us a call on the normal number. It's 01619724900. You will get a copy of the recording afterwards, so you should automatically get a copy of the recording tomorrow. But as I said, if you do have any questions in the meantime, then by all means send me a quick email and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your time.